party here from Goldcast. I'm not quite sure. I don't hear any audio.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, there we go.
Welcome to January 2025's Goldcast Insider webinar. I'm Kelly Chang, and I am the VP of Marketing here at Goldcast, and I will be your host for today's webinar. Today's webinar is being recorded, and we will send you the recording to everybody.
All right, so we're joining Goldcast for this webinar to find out the 2025 state of AI in B2B. So this is a watch party. I have not involved in the production of this. I'm just watching this together with my LinkedIn fam. So we're gonna just kind of watch in and maybe make some comments and as they go along and learn along the way. So I'm watching this with you. If you have any comments, feel free to post, and we'll go from there.
So today, my title slide got a little messed up with formatting, but I'm going to share it anyway. Today, I will be presenting results from our exclusive research survey on the state of AI and B2B video marketing for 2025. I'm really excited to share these insights from our comprehensive study that was conducted in partnership with Redpoint Content. But before we dive in to the content, I want to acknowledge Redpoint's role as our research partner. They bring over a decade of experience in B2B tech research, having worked with industry leaders like Adobe, IBM, Samsung, Vonage, and Snowflake. So let's dive right in. We've got a lot to cover, so I'm just going to jump right in. So let's look at our methodology. We conducted this research towards the end of November 2024, surveying over 500 B2B marketers, so just a couple months ago. And what makes this study particularly valuable is the breadth and depth of our respondent pool. So let me break down exactly who we talked to. So if we're looking at organizational roles, 24% were from our C-suite or VP level executives or above, 13% were from directors, 36% were managers, and 27% were individual contributors. When we're looking at company sizes, 43% came from smaller company sizes, and we're qualifying that by looking at employees at 1 to 250 employees. 30% are represented in the mid-market company range with 251 to 1,000 employees, and 27% of our respondents were from enterprise organizations, organizations with over 1,000 employees. The industry representation was also quite diverse. We had cross industries represented here. We've had industries like retail, e-commerce, manufacturing, technology, financial services, healthcare, education, and then other sectors as well. So this diverse representation really ensures that our findings reflect a much broader B2B landscape, not just a singular sector or company size. And we intentionally sought out this balance to provide insights that would be valuable across our spectrum of B2B marketing. So a little bit of background is that we initially had scoped out around 2 weeks for this survey to be collected and all the respondents. It took a bit longer because we were so picky and selective with which industries we want represented and making sure that we had an equal representation across all. All right, so these initial data points reveal really compelling narrative around AI and video and B2B marketing. Key highlights here. 89% of marketers consider video to be either very or somewhat important to their strategy. Yay. So if I'm breaking this 89% down even further, 58% say it's very important and 31% say it's somewhat important. When we're looking at different seniority levels, there is a very fascinating pattern. Okay, 94% of C-suite executives prioritize video compared to 89% of managers and 82% of individual contributors.
Now
so this illustrates
that is a super cool percentage right there.
Change when it comes to prioritizing video.
Okay, awesome.
And then even more telling is that 73% of our respondents plan to increase their video production in 2025. Nice. And they're not just talking about minor increases. Most of our respondents indicated plans to boost production by at least 10%. So I am going to launch our very first poll now. I do want to ask, what percentage of your marketing budget is allocated to video production? So this poll will really help us understand where you are at in your journey compared to our findings. So while you guys continue to answer that poll, it's just to the right of the main stage. I'm going to dive into how companies are investing in video marketing, so understanding how other organizations are looking at their budget. Because the story here isn't just about the numbers, it's really about a fundamental shift in how B2B companies view video as a strategic asset. So looking at this, this chart here and this budget allocation, it's a little bit confusing because we're talking about percentage points. 50% of our respondents allocate about 10 to 25% of their video or marketing budget to video. So that's like the largest chunk, about 10 to 25%.
That's good.
29%
Hopefully it changes in
allocate
2025.
less than 10%. And 17% of respondents allocate 26 to 50%. And then we've got 4% of our respondents are allocating more than 50%. So a really, really significant chunk of their budget towards video. And here's what makes it even more fascinating. When we break this down by company size and performance, we see clear patterns where companies are allocating more than 25% of their budget to video are actually more than 2 times more likely to report exceeding their pipeline goals.
Nice.
And this isn't just a correlation. These companies are using video more strategically across their entire buyer journey. So it's not very siloed. It's very much peppered across the entire buyer's journey. We're also seeing very interesting variations by industry. Tech companies lead the pack with 62% of the tech companies that are responding allocating more than 15% of their budget to video. Financial services is following at 54% and manufacturing at 47%. And
Nice.
The key insight here isn't that budgets are just growing. It's that companies are fundamentally thinking about how they're shifting their budget to allocate for resources. Video is no longer seen as nice to have. It's just like another content format. It's becoming a really central type of asset for how B2B companies communicate and engage with their audiences. So
Nice.
If you're a marketer, this has 3 main critical impacts. So if you're in that 29% that's allocating less than 10% of your budget, you're likely falling behind your competitors. The sweet spot appears to be 15 to 20%. So if you're allocating about 15 to 20% of your budget towards video, this is where companies report the best balance of investments and returns.
Nice.
And budget allocation isn't just about production. This is about the entire video ecosystem, from creation to distribution and repurposing.
Nice.
So let's take a look at our poll results from how.
This is nice. Okay, so they're taking an audience poll right now, and I just want to add that. Let's go to a different angle here. I just want to add that they just took a poll from the audience, and we are just kind of having like sort of a watch party here. Okay, we're into Goldcast, and I signed up for this webinar talking about the state of AI in B2B. They also talking about video production, which is good, and it's nice to see that in 2025 companies are actually advancing their budgets, growing their budgets, realizing that video is powerful in order to beat the competition. All right, so we're going to go back here and listen to what else she has to say because she's going into now talking about AI. So let's listen in.
Putting these video budgets to work with AI. We actually found from our survey that 91% of our marketers are currently using AI tools. But what's really compelling is how they're using these AI tools. So looking at the key use cases, 3 key use cases popped up. 60% of marketers that are adopting AI are using AI for content creation. 51% are using it for reporting and analytics, and 49% are using it for email marketing.
Nice.
The fascinating part here is that when we dig even further, looking into that 60% that's using AI for content creation, we actually discovered that the most successful teams that are using AI in ways that amplify human creativity rather than replace it. So, for example, 77% of our respondents use AI to identify key moments in long-form videos. Historically, you would have to rewatch videos over and over and over again to manually find those key moments, those timestamps, but now marketers are leaning into AI to help identify those key moments. 73% are leveraging AI for initial content drafts and outlines, and 68% are using content optimization for distribution. So these implications are pretty significant. The most successful marketing teams aren't just throwing AI at every problem. They're being very strategic about when and where they deploy it. They're using AI to handle the very time-consuming, repetitive tasks while focusing on their human resources on strategy and creative direction.
Interesting.
The impact of AI and productivity is also where the story here gets very interesting. So let's look at the concrete time savings that teams are seeing. 45% of our AI adopters are saving around 3 hours on editing tasks. 42% are saving over 3 hours on content creation, and 40% are saving 3+ hours on clip generation. But what's most revealing here is that teams reporting the highest time savings share three common characteristics. So, number one is that they have a clear process for AI integration. The second is that they focus AI on a very specific, well defined task. And finally, they combine AI efficiency with human oversight. So, it really isn't just about saving time, it's about reallocating your human resources to higher value activities. These teams are using their saved hours to focus on strategy, creativity, and personalization, these elements that directly impact engagement and conversion rates.
Interesting.
Oh, you know what? I actually forgot to launch my second poll. I had another poll I really, really wanted to get some
All right,
audience
so
information
she's
on in terms of the number of hours a week your team spends on video
all right, so
production.
she's
So
going
I'm
to
actually
do
going to go and
a
share
poll of
that
respondents
poll
in this
now.
live webinar, and we're going to find out how many people are actually using AI with their teams. And this is interesting stuff because time saved with AI is so much important. Is so important in some of the key takeaways that. Okay, so how many hours per week does your team spend on video production? Less than 5 hours, 5 to 10 hours. Oh wow. Okay. All right. Hopefully this changes in the year, but let's see what she has to say with the poll that is taking with the audience from this webinar.
Oh, about 12% that's spending 20+ hours. And then we do have a good chunk, about 15, 16, 17% outsourcing video production. So very interesting results as compared to our key findings.
Huh.
Great. Let's go back to
20+ hours, 11%.
Okay.
Interesting. All right. So just to catch you up for those who are watching, we are having a watch party for this live webinar coming from Goldcast. We're listening to Kelly Chang, who is the marketing person there, and she's talking about some key findings, some results that are talking about AI, the state of AI, B2B, video production, and she's going into some really, really good results. And it looks like she's doing a lot of polls here. So I'm not going to take any of these polls, but I do want to see the results of these polls, and I want to see what this one is that she's talking about now.
But they're actually those that were most strategic about how and where they implement the AI. Okay, so next I want to talk about the financial impact of AI. Because this is where many teams are seeing the most tangible benefits, this is very interesting. Our data shows that 74% of companies have significantly reduced their need for outsourcing video production, and 85% have reported significant cost savings. And so what's really interesting about these numbers is that companies aren't just saving money, they're reinvesting it more strategically. And the average team that is reallocating about 30% of their previously outsourced budget to new initiatives. So think about your budget from 2024 that's dedicated to video. 30% are actually reallocating that to somewhere else because their video production costs are becoming that much more cost efficient. And teams are seeing much higher quality outputs despite spending less dollars and less time. So breaking down this resource optimization even further, 65% of our respondents report better budget utilization, and 58% see improved team efficiency. 52% also experience faster production cycles, which is something that I definitely have a history with, waiting a very, very long time for a very simple video clip to be coming back to me from a video agency. The strategic benefits are also very compelling here.
Right, so
about 73% report an increase in content
impact on resources. So it's all about timing. So you as a video professional marketer, it's all about timing.
Focus on creative on their teams. And so we're still in the age of doing more with less, and being able to increase your content output by 73% and also decreasing your costs associated to it is almost like a dream come true. So what does this mean for marketers? we're seeing a clear shift from the traditional outsource everything model to a more hybrid approach where core capabilities are being brought in-house and teams are becoming much more self-sufficient and self-service, and AI is really helping bridging that gap between ambition and resources. So while the benefits are obviously clear here, I do want to acknowledge some of the real challenges that teams are facing when implementing AI in their video strategies. Not all of our respondents found success with implementing AI in video. So 37% of our respondents cite lack of expertise as their main obstacle, followed by high costs at 34%, and then limited tool availability at 29%. So if I am going to break that down even further, those that cite lack of expertise, that largest obstacle, 62% of those respondents are actually from smaller companies. So among those concerned about costs, 58% have marketing teams that have less than 5 people. So when we're looking at these numbers, most of these challenges are coming from those smaller companies that really have lower budgets and smaller teams. And tool availability issues are common in regulated industries. So if you are in a industry like financial services or healthcare, you may find trouble finding a tool that is approved going through your security and your company's security restrictions. So those are the main challenges that we're seeing. And the key insight here is that most teams aren't waiting until they've solved all these challenges to implement AI. Instead, they're starting small with really proven use cases. They're building expertise incrementally, and they're also measuring and optimizing as they go. So in this next part here, I'm going to share a couple of examples. At Goldcast, we produce a lot of video. We do video at large scale, video low scale, and I wanted to be very transparent about our video production process, how we actually use AI in our workflows, and to showcase some videos that came out from those workflows. So the first example I'm going to show you is a lower fidelity, lower production customer story. So at Goldcast, we create a lot of customer stories to help champion our ROI, key results that our customers are seeing. And those are actually top driving content assets in terms of building and closing pipeline. So I'm going to play this one video just so you guys can see what the video looks like.
All right. So she's actually showing a video right now of I don't know what this is, something that maybe they did with a webinar. This is basically selling Goldcast, which, by the way, we are coming into a live webinar that I registered for, and I'm bringing in my LinkedIn team, my LinkedIn pals, or whatever you want to call yourself, to kind of come and see this and watch this, because we're talking about 2025 and the state of AI and B2B marketing, especially in video production. And what this company is doing is absolutely incredible right now, because they're talking a lot about the use of video production and how marketing teams, first of all, have a lack of expertise in the area. And I'm actually going to go full screen here just to talk, because it's just going to be me. But I'll bring myself into this, and we'll come back to the full screen when they're done. But it looks like they're just kind of doing a marketing video right now for the company to kind of show off. But I like some of the statistics that she's coming up with. I still don't know how many people that they polled to get some of this data, but so far the results that I'm getting from what she is saying as far as AI and marketing and video production is that companies are just on the cusp of getting involved with video production on their marketing teams, because before, now with AI, before, it was very time consuming. It took up a lot of time, a lot of resources, and a lot of funding. And now, because of AI coming in, it's so much easier to implement video production on a team. But the only problem is now, because it's so low, because the interest is so low, they're running into other problems with expertise on the team, etc. All right, she's back with some more statistics. We're going to join them
We
now.
do remote interviews with automatic transcription. So we do this on Zoom, and we use Fathom as our AI recording tool. We also streamline our post-production workflow with AI tools. So after our remote interview with the recording, we take that recording and we upload it to our own tool, a tool called Goldcast Content Lab. And so that is where I see that there's a question about an AI video. So what I'm talking about is how we're using AI tools with creating a video production. And so what Content Lab does is it takes that video that we record on Zoom, and we're able to then create many different clips. We're able to identify key moments. We're able to really take a lot of the manual work of making a video that looks like what you just saw into what it is, removing all that manual effort. So using our own tools, Content Lab, to do that, to really streamline that production. In that video, you might have also seen some, name cards, branding, etc. We do use for production Adobe Creative Cloud. So I'm being very transparent here and unveiling what's in our tech stack and how we actually create those videos. And we, in the Creative Cloud, we focus on Premiere Pro and also After Effects. We also use this one tool called Adobe Audition, where it helps strip out some of the background noise.
All right, so she's basically talking about low production customer stories and her technology stack. This is pretty cool, and I'm interested. Wow. All right, their technology stack pretty much is pre-production, production, post-production.
So our
And
impact here is that we're able to create
it's kind of
a more content
lean production stack.
So
But
this
it's very
interview
interesting.
took about 45 minutes. And from that recording, we're able to
So she's
create
explaining
about
how they
8
made that
different
video.
assets. And what I mean by that is that we have a case study. We have many different video clips that we're using across social media. We are able to use these clips on our ads. We're also using these videos on our sales deck. So really allowing our prospects to hear directly from our customers that are super happy. And what we also saw here is a 45% reduction in production time, because that really manual work in
Now, if you're just joining us, we're having a watch party here, a Geeky Marketing watch party. I have registered for a Goldcast webinar, and they're talking about B2B 2025 in the state of AI video production. And up in the corner, there's Kelly Chang, who is marketing, and she's talking about low production quality. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that they're talking about here that is just a lot of information. And what she's basically talking about in this slide here is the low production customer story and her tech stack and how they create videos using AI and some editing tools. And it's very interesting. So if you're just joining us, this is a watch party. We're kind of crashing the webinar and putting it up live on LinkedIn.
A multi-channel reach. So taking one asset and being able to use it in many different places. Before I go into the next video example that I do want to share, I'm going to highlight here that none of this is AI generated video.
Okay.
Here at Goldcast, we really believe that video needs to be authentic, and that starts really with a human to human face. So none of the videos here that you see are AI avatar generated. When we're talking about using AI within the video production workflow, we're talking about the pre-production, the actual production, and also the post-production, not just using AI end to end. There's many different workflows within the video production, and we are looking for different areas where AI can be impactful.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay, the next example I'm going to share is a higher production video example. And these are the traditional ones that take a long time to execute because it requires a full video.
All right, so right now, I guess she's going to be talking about, she's going to show another video, and she's basically explaining her workflow and how they are creating videos using AI. And as far as I can know, they have a policy that they
have the absolute best webinar program in B2B SaaS, full stop. That's what Goldcast has been able to allow us to do. It was able to provide just the best possible experience for our audiences coming and consuming our content and virtual events. We're able to deliver our content that we invest a lot in a way that's much more efficient for our team and in a way that we can scale the program as we continue to grow. Intercom is the only complete AI-first customer service platform, and we work to empower businesses to be able to deliver the absolute best customer experiences they can at scale. Goldcast Content Lab has been a game changer for us in a lot of ways.
Basically, they're talking about
First is
Goldcast.
just in
She's
digital
going
content
to
creation.
explain
Now,
how
I can do
they
that on
created
my
this
own
video
in
using
hours,
AI and the
and
marketing team.
the second
We
part
didn't
is the
need one of them,
distribution.
I'm sure.
That happens literally instantaneously now. The AI features and tools that Goldcast has created has not only allowed us to do better work, but we can do more work that's quality in less time. And on top of that, we're able to take that content and use it in so many different channels and formats and get much more value from it over time in ways that just simply weren't possible before. In terms of the ROI of working with Goldcast, I think about that through three different lenses. The first is just scalability. And we've gone from doing a few webinars per quarter to now doing 50 plus per quarter on average, sometimes even more. The second is in the campaign level metrics. And we've seen our registration numbers consistently increase. That can be from the hundreds to the multiple thousands of people registering. Our attendance rates have continued to climb. We average between 32 and 35% attendance rates for a lot of our webinars, but upwards of 50, 55, 60% sometimes. And the last is on the business impact. And it's made webinars one of the top performing channels we have on our demand generation team. If you're looking for the best in class to be able to deliver really stellar experiences and also have all of those managerial tools at your disposal, the ability to create content, syndicate it, get it in front of the right people, Goldcast is a great tool for you.
Nice. All right, we're going to go back. So now she's going to explain how they
All
made
right,
that
so
video.
that video is what we're calling a higher fidelity, high production customer story video. So our approach here is to have a high touch customer storytelling strategy with very premium production. So not only did we want to have a very high end look and feel, a part of this was that we also wanted the talent, the on camera individuals to feel like a VIP, like they're a thought leader. And so a big part of the reason why we're doing this is making sure that we have this premium production. And so our approach here is having AI assisted interview and story mapping. The AI that came into this video was at the very beginning, the pre-production part where we had used AI to really help us find the right story, the right questions. We also did a remote pre-interview on Zoom to really share that narrative and confirm that, you know, this is a story that we want to tell. Those were the parts where AI was really, really heavy that our team used. And then we actually used an agency partner for local execution. So like I mentioned, these types of videos can be very, very costly if you're looking to do this in-house. So our approach with this was to look for a agency partner that has local execution nationwide to be able to travel with a local team to a set to be able to film. The technology stack here is onboarding the agency. We use Figma, Adobe templates, and Epidemic Sound. So Figma is really for all those branding assets. Adobe templates for, you know, some of the existing video assets that we have, just so we get everything on brand. Epidemic Sound is where we source a lot of our music for our video. And then post-production, again, Frame.io, Vistia, and YouTube. So the impact here is that we have much higher quality studio quality testimonials, higher brand perception, increased engagement on our premium channels. And I wanted to share the investments here because I think that's where a lot of people will have questions about. The actual production all-in cost per case study video is around $6,000 per video. I'll be very transparent here. This $6,000 per video is a sliding scale. So the more videos that we sign up for with the production agency, the lower per video cost it would be. So here, I think we signed up for 8 videos with this particular agency. The name of the agency is Testimonial Hero. Highly recommend them. They're very, very easy to work with. And for
my buddy from
end-to-end,
Boston,
from
Testimonial Hero.
You know, very beginning of identifying the customer to actually receiving the final deliverable was about 3 weeks. And I will say that the majority of the time spent within those 3 weeks was within the approvals timeframe. We had a lot of feedback that we wanted to get included into the final cut. Tools, again, similar tools that we use, $720 per year. And the team here is 1 marketing manager and 1 the video agency. So the outcome that we saw here was really high-end premium brand storytelling. We really have seen an increase in customer advocacy. We've also generated some pipeline from this video, really a versatile video library content. So we have a collection of vertical videos, low production videos, and some really, really high-end videos, and a agency quality production.
Nice.
All right, so I'm gonna
Right.
go and share.
So they're not
the
really
final
spending
video. So the
spending.
final video that I'm gonna
All right,
share
so they're
is
going to show
a
another
social viral
video.
clip. So the video is a very, very important part of social media and engagement on social media. And lately, we've been seeing a flood of different vertical videos, TikTok style videos, and I wanted to showcase a version of that we did.
All right, good.
Hey everyone, we are so excited. We have Tara from Chili Piper here joining us today. Super excited to be here. So I'm the head of demand gen at Chili Piper, and at Chili Piper we have a demand conversion platform that helps you convert more of your website traffic and your leads into actual meetings and pipeline for your sales team. So we're here to talk about video today. So Tara, how is Chili Piper using video in their marketing strategy? We use it in so many different ways. I think video is one of those things that is super intimidating from the outside. But once you start doing it, it's kind of like a muscle. You have to just practice and get used to it. And where do you get your content ideas for video? Oh, that's a great question. I feel like I'm really lucky to be at such a creative company. We have no shortage of ideas, but we actually have a Slack channel that anyone at the company can join, and it's called the Creative Council. And you can pop in, drop your idea, and leave if you want, if you're not on the marketing team. So we have just kind of a running Slack channel of ideas to pull from. Creative councils, y'all. That's where it is in 2025. Okay, so what do you think is going to be like trending in video next? Like, what are your predictions for video? That's a great question. So one thing that I've seen taking off on LinkedIn right now is the kind of day in the lifestyle content. Yes.
So kind of what I've seen. It was big on TikTok. It's been big on Reels for a while. I'm seeing that take off on LinkedIn, especially with the new vertical video format.
Yes, 100%. How do you help other people get into video? How do you get people started?
So one way that can be really helpful for people is to try something really small scale. Even some internal calls, if someone says something really interesting, maybe make sure you're recording your internal calls, get that going. And then if the idea takes off, then maybe put some production value behind it.
Do you use any tools, or is there anything like when you're recording videos that you find helpful? Anything for our aspiring videographers, creators out there? Any tips?
Yeah, I would say I'm a very beginner videographer and editor, very new to it. We use a couple tools. We use Riverside for recordings just to host things like our podcast. So it's super simple. And then we use Descript for editing after the fact. So if you're just getting started and you don't want to invest a ton of money, those are some cheaper tools to start with.
Awesome. Well, Tara, thank you so much. Really enjoyed the conversation. Bye all.
All right, so that final example, let me pull up my case example here.
All right, so she's going to.
So our approach here was a guerrilla-style thought leadership capture at a major industry event. So we had to, we attended in HubSpot Inbound earlier last year. It was in the September-October timeframe, and we were lucky enough to get some free tickets. So what we did is that we got our little iPhones out, we bought some mini microphones, and we also purchased a gimbal for stability. And so from the conference, we did some on-the-fly conference interviews, so the mobile-first recording setup, and was able to get some really, really quick turnaround content production. So like I mentioned here, our tech stack is I just use my iPhone. We bought some mini mics. They're about like $10 on Amazon. We also purchased a gimbal that helps with stability. And after we had the recording, the very, very long recording of all of these interviews, it was probably about a 3-hour video file that we had to sift through and edit. We uploaded that video into Content Lab and was able to cut out the ums and ahs, the extra questions that we didn't want to use, all with AI. We're able to use some templates through AI. So a lot of the branded templates that you see in the video are through Content Lab. And then we added some post-production. So using our Adobe Creative Cloud, Premiere, After Effects, and Audition to really help with the video quality. And then using Frame.io, Wistia, and YouTube for post-production. So the impact here is that rapid content turnaround time. So I think we produced about like 8 to 12 different interview videos, and that took about a week to get back. And so we also have increased brand visibility and growing thought leadership network. So a big strategy at Goldcast is to have really, really authentic video, real people providing their thought leadership and their insights and experiences and sharing that across our brand. And so a resource investment here at the gear all in, about $150. I didn't include my iPhone as part of that investment because it's just my personal iPhone. iPhone video quality is so amazing these days. You really don't need to have like a really intense DSLR camera. The tools, it should say $720 a year. Again, that's the cost of our Adobe Creative Cloud. And the team here was,
you don't need an expensive camera.
The filmer on the conference floor. And then we had Lindsay, who was our host asking questions. And then we had a video freelancer that helps, clean things up on the post-production side. Key outcomes here is that we had really, really cost-effective content creation. We had really authentic brand content and positioning and really high engagement rates that we saw on social media. All right, so I wanted to go ahead and take a look at our data from our research report after sharing those 3 case examples on the 2025 market outlook. How do marketers look at 2025 when it comes to AI? So first, 79% of marketers that were surveyed are planning to increase their AI investments. And it's not just a minor budget allocation adjustment. Because when we dig a little bit deeper, about 45% of that 79% plan to increase budgets by more than 25%. So that's about more than almost like a quarter of their video budgets to be increased. And 34% are looking to have moderate increases, about 10 to 24%. But most importantly, these increases aren't just coming from reallocation of existing budgets. These increases are coming from a reallocation of existing budgets. So they're not looking for like new funding. Another key point is that 86% of mid-sized companies are leading this charge in particular, which is particularly telling. So let me break this down a little bit. Mid-sized companies, so that's the 250 to 1,000 range, they have enough budget and flexibility to experiment, unlike the smaller companies. And they're also more agile than the enterprise organizations. That's about 1,000 and above employee size. So the mid-sized companies, about 250 to 1,000, their marketing teams are about 5 to 15 people large, which is the sweet spot for AI adoption. So if we're looking at the investment trends of some key market insights, the growing AI tool adoption isn't just about buying tools. 72% of our respondents are actually investing in training materials and training tools. So not just using the tools, but getting your teams enabled.
That's right.
We're also seeing increased
rock and roll
automation focus, which is targeting specific workflows. About 68% of our respondents started their AI process with video with content repurposing. And then higher technology budgets are being allocated more strategically, about 65% focus on integration capabilities. So for looking at the market shifts, the data points here are even more nuanced. So mid-market size companies aren't just leading in adoption, they're also innovating on how AI is being used. And the focus of efficiency gains is driving a 40% increase in content output. There's also an emphasis on scalability. About 55% are creating dedicated AI-focused roles within their organizations. And so that's definitely something that I've been seeing a lot more of is AI marketing managers, roles that are specifically owning AI tools.
There you go. AI marketing manager. Boom.
Next, I wanted to talk about some data points on some predictions that marketers have. So in the technology side of things, advanced AI capabilities will move beyond basic automation to creative assistance. We saw that respondents really wanted to also improve automation to focus on end-to-end workflows versus just an individual task. About 77% also cite that integrations, AI tool integrations, to be a top priority in what they wanted to see in 2025. On the production side, we're seeing that
I love this. This is good stuff. I hope I get this because I'm going to post like crazy on LinkedIn. So if you're watching this and if you have a comment or something, go right ahead and ask. I'm live here. We're all live. And this is pretty much a watch party. We're kind of crashing this webinar, and I'm kind of sharing it with you on LinkedIn. But this is amazing content. I'm just
more
gonna keep listening.
personalization at scale is something that we're also seeing. 63% of our respondents plan to implement AI-driven personalization within their videos.
Yay.
And then when we're talking about impact, it's three key things: increased ROI, better resource usage, and greater scalability. So the key takeaway here isn't that just AI adoption is growing. It's that we're seeing
make more money
just a true fundamental shift in how marketing teams are operating. And the successful teams of 2025 aren't just going to be using AI tools. They're going to be building entire workflows and strategies around AI. Right. And so when we're thinking about AI and you're thinking about a video output, the actual output doesn't actually have to be fully AI generated, because as we know, there's a lot that goes into video production. There's scripting, there's the actual video shoot, and there's the production, and then there's the editing. There's so much that goes into video, and AI can help streamline those individual workflows throughout.
Absolutely.
So I want to have our audience here have some key takeaways. So this research report is going to be dropping at the end of the month. The full research report with even more insights will be available towards the end of January. And we're going to make sure that every single person here has a copy of that and in their inbox as soon as it's released. So I'm going to go into our next steps. So taking action, how you're going to do AI implementation and what your roadmap's going to look like. So it's 4 steps. The first step here is really assess your current workflow. So in our data, we saw that 81% of successful implementations started with a thorough audit. So that's definitely a great place to start. The key areas that you can evaluate is production bottlenecks, resource allocation, and then content effectiveness. And then the last advice here is to document everything, because you can't improve what you don't measure.
That's right.
The second step here is to identify on your quick wins. So really, really focus on your high impact, low effort tasks first. From our respondents, I previously mentioned a statistic about 63% started with content repurposing with AI and when they're looking at video. But when we're looking at successful teams that actually implemented AI in video, because like I mentioned, not every single respondent was successful in using AI in video. 90% of those successful teams started with content repurposing. So that is a very, very good place to start. And look for tasks that are very repetitive and time consuming, but don't require complex decision making. Third is to start with some proven tools. So there are a lot of established AI solutions. I think I saw someone in the chat that mentioned 11 Labs, but look for the AI tools that are established and really start there, because you're going to find many less bugs and you're going to see performance much earlier on. You want to focus on your core functionality first, and then start small. So use smaller pilot projects to build confidence. And then the last bit is to scale gradually. And so the results do speak for themselves, because when we surveyed our successful marketers in implementing AI within their video production workflows,
that's right.
81, sorry, this slide is a little messed up with formatting, but 81% have reported significant time savings. 85% see substantial cost reduction, and 90% achieve effective content repurposing, and they've been able to 3x their average content output, which is, like I said, still in the age of do more with less. Super important for us to be able to increase our content output while decreasing our resourcing. All right, we are just in time for Q&A. I will do my best to answer questions, but I might need to follow up with some questions if it has to do with the data, because I will have to reach out to Redpoint if there are any questions I can't answer. So if you're in the audience, we have a lot of questions here. If you want to go through and help me upvote questions, we have an upvoting feature. I can start with the questions that have the most upvotes.
cut this out.
Okay, so first question that I'm going to answer is from, I'm sorry if I get your name incorrect, Raisa. If you're creating video for podcasting, how can you get a decent view into ROI on these? I'm having trouble getting Apple, Spotify plays, for example. Can obviously use stats from our website embeds. Yeah, this is a great question. So I won't pretend that I'm an expert in podcasting reporting because I am not. I won't be able to answer that question for you. But what I will be able to share with you is that even if you do create a podcast and you have 0 views, there is a lot of ROI there because you can repurpose that podcast, especially if you're doing video. You can clip that up into many different clips for social media. You can create YouTube playlists. You can embed them on your websites. You can put them on campaign landing pages. There's many ways for you to introduce podcasting video into your workflows and not just have it in a silo on that podcasting channel. So I apologize. I'm not able to answer your questions about podcasting reporting. Okay, next question. What are some of the most effective AI-driven personalization strategies you've seen succeed in video marketing? So there are some really, really great tools out there that can help personalize your video. You can upload a video, say it's for sales enablement. I know that, Drift Video does this. You can upload a video, you can do a Loom recording of a video, and the very beginning part, you can automate addressing the person's first name. So you can use one video and actually send it to, 1,000 individual people. So that's probably the best way I've seen AI-driven personalization within video. But do let me know in the chat. I want to make sure that this is a very community-driven audience. If there are any insights on how you've seen AI-driven personalization on video.
All right, just to let you know, we are crashing this webinar from Goldcast. I registered for it, and I figured I'm going to watch it anyway. Why not watch it with my LinkedIn peeps? So here we are answering questions at the end here, and this was super informative. I cannot wait to see this.
Do you feel AI is an effective tool when it comes to product demos for B2B? Ones where it's not using a webinar or testimonial clip. Patrick, if you are here, I'd love to hear more about your question about product demo videos. I think the best product demo video tool I've seen is Loom. Loom has been around for a while now, but Loom has a lot of AI tools within it. I'm a huge Loom user. Every time I need to do a quick product demo or whatnot, I'm able to do a screen recording, have my face in the corner there, and kind of do that presentation. And then afterwards, I actually do many different takes within one video. And so afterwards, I'm able to use Loom to then edit the video, take out, ums and ahs, completely remove sections, and really, really be able to edit directly from a transcript. So I love using Loom. I also think that Content Lab is a great tool. Okay, so Patrick, specific when a person presenting, but rather produced. Yeah, so like Loom type style videos. Another good video is a tool is you can use Zoom. Zoom's a free tool. You can record on Zoom, so you still have that kind of like screen share plus, your speaker view. And then you can upload that video to Content Lab and be able to strip out your ums and ahs, your repetitive words, and then add your branding, your intros and outros very, very quickly. So that type of video that you would want some polish, like intros and outros and name cards, might take like maybe 2 weeks or, a couple $1,000s in video freelancers to create. You can now just do it yourself free with AI tools that you can find online. So hopefully, so no videos, no people in the videos. So more like animated how-to videos. Is that what you're looking at? Yeah, so I actually haven't seen a very, very good one yet. If anyone does, let us know in the chat. All the, very, very automated AI-driven how-to videos I've seen are pretty low in quality. Reagan is suggesting 11 Labs, so we should all go check that out. Okay, I'm gonna skim through. Okay, next question I have here is, how important is vertical video for social media? From Jeb. Thank you for this question, Jeb. vertical video is extremely, extremely important for social media. I don't remember the stat anymore, but there is a very large percentage of social media consumption that is on your mobile phone. And your mobile phone is obviously a vertical screen and not a horizontal screen. So if you are on TikTok, Instagram Reels, even LinkedIn now, LinkedIn Mobile has a video tab, and you just kind of swipe up to keep, watching videos. If you're not on there format wise, you're missing out, because that's impressions and eyeballs that are not seeing your video. So your formatting is very important when it comes to video distribution. Even YouTube now has YouTube Shorts that is on vertical. Even when I'm watching TV, I have an Apple TV, and if I go on my YouTube channel, it is a vertical video if I want to watch YouTube Shorts. It's very much like a mobile experience. So I would say that if you're producing video and you need to do different cuts and different formatting, square videos, vertical videos, horizontal landscape videos, it's really important to make sure that you have all those different formats, because you're going to sacrifice your impression count if you don't have it in all those different formats. A great tool I'm going to share now is Goldcast Content Lab for this, because you can upload your one video, and from one click you can change it into a different vertical format, a square format. You can turn it into an audiogram very, very easily without any kind of production skills.
Interesting.
All right, next question. What is recommended for gaining more expertise with using AI tools? I'd love to hear in the audience how marketers are learning AI tools. I'll share personally how I spend my time learning AI tools, and that's YouTube. I spend a lot of time watching YouTube videos and seeing how different people are finding different use cases and different ways to leverage AI in their workflows. I'm also following a lot of different people on my network, looking at my friends and family and my professional network to see how AI is being used. And that's really how I'm gleaning expertise. Okay, I'm gonna continue to look for another question. Sure. So from Greg, what would you all expect to pay from one of these videos? Greg, if you're still here, let me know what video you're referencing so I can kind of give you an earmark. Okay, and then there was a question from Duria, sorry. How much does a video freelancer cost? So this, I do want to share this to the stage, even though it was answered in the chat here. So Anon here said that the videos are about $2,000 to $5,000 per 45 to 60-second video in the past for shorter customer story videos. It really depends on our side. So we look at it hourly, freelancer wise.
What about,
because every video scope is different and what you're needing is different, and because we're bringing a lot of the video production where it typically would land on the freelancer, and we're taking that in-house. Like for example, scripting, we're taking that in-house. Typically that would land on the video freelancer. We're able to de-scope a lot of what the video freelancer is doing for us. So previously, maybe a video would take 100 hours. We're now cutting it down to maybe 50 hours because we're doing it some of it in-house. And so when we're talking about hourly, we're at Goldcast, we're averaging about $100 an hour for a video freelancer.
$2,000 for a 60-second video.
So hopefully that's gives you a good benchmark. Let me go back. So Greg was talking about high production video. Okay, so the intercom video, that was about $6,000. And as I mentioned, it's a sliding scale. So that particular agency that we're working with, this particular one's called Testimonial Hero, and we've been very happy with them. The more videos we sign up with, the less each video costs. So I wanted to be transparent about that. Okay, I think I've covered all of the questions that I can answer. I do see some questions that I cannot answer based on the data, and I will follow up once I am able to touch base with our research partner on that. But thank you so much, everybody, for joining today. Again, the full research report with a lot more golden nuggets and insights will be dropping at the end of the month. And I'll make sure that everybody that's registered for this webinar will have a copy in their inbox as soon as that's released.
All right. So
but again,
learned
if
a
you're
lot
not able
from
to
this.
watch.
I learned tons of this. And if you're joining us, this is a watch party, basically. I registered for this webinar from Goldcast and figured if I'm going to watch it, why not just let my LinkedIn followers watch it as well? And she's actually going. So come back to me. All right. So that was amazing data coming from them. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. Key takeaways from that I got was video and marketing is is growing in 2025, and I am so happy to say that. And by the way, this is live, so if you have questions about what just happened, any questions or comments, go ahead and put it up there in the chat, and we'll kind of do my best to come in here. But some of the key takeaways that I got from this particular webinar was that CEOs love video. Okay, CEOs love video. I don't have the stats up, but I think she said like 94% of CEOs and companies believe in video and what it can do for marketing. The other key takeaway that I took away from this, from the top of my head, was AI and marketing. So if you are in marketing, you got to know AI. It's pretty much that simple. It's being implemented into workflows. And if you don't have any clue, if you're against it, if you don't like it, you're going to have problems being in this industry all the way around. The other takeaway that I took from this was the cost. So I am a little skeptical. Well, not really skeptical, but a little, I have too many questions about their funding and how much their videos actually cost. It said something like $2,000 to $5,000 per video production. I really wasn't quite clear on that, which I'm assuming with AI, that cost is going to go down drastically. And this particular company who did this webinar, they do not want to use avatars, which is somewhat commendable. I'm a fan of avatars, but again, not many people are using them. So it's interesting stuff. So I'm going to follow up with this in another broadcast and talk about this more and what I found. Hopefully that they can pretty much give me the download of this, or I'll just kind of transcribe the video that I have via LinkedIn, talking about the 2025 state of AI in B2B video marketing. So those are some of my takeaways, and I'll have more in continued posts talking about this topic, but this was absolutely amazing. And if you're in the video production world and if you're in marketing, you are going to become a team. That's just how it is. And I know for years I've been involved in video production, marketing, it's coming together, and it's important for companies to see a return on their investment as far as marketing goes, and to see growth. So these are tools that are needed. All right, so I'm signing off.